Zoro jumps onto the heads of the giants and slashes all the Dami Reversi giants. So that's it. That was Zoro's big master plan. And I say that because that was like the cliffhanger of the previous chapter, and we knew it wasn't really going to be anything spectacular. Like, I guess Oda just didn't have any other things to have as, like, you know, as the classic Weekly Shonen Jump cliffhanger part. I guess he had to leave it there because that's just where the story concluded at that point, and there was nothing really else interesting going on. I mean, once this gets adapted into the anime, I'm sure it will just be a part of one concurrent episode. But he's jumping on the heads of the giants and slashing all the Dami Versied ones because in the previous chapter, Hiruden said, like, don't get between them because you'll get Dami Reversi, because that's just how it works. We talked about this many times. Even though it still remains to be seen if Zoro can even get Dami Reversi, and I say that because we just don't know how it fully works at this point. But anyway, Dory and Bragi face off against Zoro, but they end up hitting each other, leaving Zoro and everyone else in shock. Okay, so that's fitting, but also I don't think we're getting all of the details here because I don't know if, like, Zoro is on one of their heads and then they're trying to attack Zoro, but then they wind up attacking each other, or it's just going back to Dory and Bragi's, like, dynamic. Like, they just battle each other endlessly because they have, like, brotherly rivalry or whatever. Because that's, like, their whole gimmick. They fought for 100 years on Little Garden over who defeated the bigger fish or something. So it's either the former or the latter. It's probably the latter here. It's just, even though they're Dami Reversi, that still can't overwrite their core personalities, I guess. It just makes them just evil versions of themselves, but they still have that rivalry intact. I was hoping to see Zoro fight them, and maybe we still will, but I guess not in this chapter. Brook reveals the true name of Gunkko. He calls her Princess Shuri, or Sherry. She is royalty. He recognizes her features: blue hair and two-toned eyes. Brook also calls her the father-killing princess. The man she killed was Brook's benefactor, Onjin, the same level as Shanks was to Luffy. Gunkko wavers. Brook almost manages to reach her, but Imu takes over again. Gunkko snaps back to reality and prepares to attack Brook. Gunkko shouts at Brook to run away. Alright, so here's Gunkko's big reveal. We finally know who she is. And a lot of us suspected this for sure because of what Brook told us when he first met the Straw Hats, I think, or around that time. He said, long ago I was the leader of a battle convoy in a certain kingdom. And that was never really brought up again after that point. So, like, this was before the Rumbar Pirates, obviously. And when Gunkko's, like, true personality, I guess you could say her Sherry or Shuri personality was coming through, and recognizing Brook, we saw, like, this flashback of them together when she was, like, a kid, so we kind of put two and two together. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Private Internet Access. I've been working with them and using their product for years now. It's a VPN service, which stands for Virtual Private Network. It's an app that hides your IP address and safeguards your internet connection through an encrypted tunnel. So that way, your internet service provider, websites, or hackers can't see what you're doing. And also, by doing this, you're able to change your location to one of 91 different countries, as well as any of the 50 US states that you want. Because, you know, nowadays, depending on what state you're in, they can pick and choose what you're allowed to access online. Not only that, but you also bypass streaming services. Changing your location will give you access to tons more content that you otherwise wouldn't have. Also, this allows you to access deals online that you wouldn't be able to otherwise, because websites will, like, increase prices because you keep looking at it and you're not actually buying it. This is something that genuinely happens. But if you use a VPN, it negates all of that and you go back to the lowest base price. And signing up for Private Internet Access is risk-free. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and there's, like, over 8,500 excellent reviews on Trustpilot. So having a VPN is just a great overall utility, especially, like, on your phone when you're just out and about. And you can get it by checking my link in the description. And if you go through that link, you'll be able to get 83% off, as well as 4 months for free. Thanks, guys. And also, this arc was missing the whole saving the princess element that every One Piece arc has. I mean, technically, I guess you could say that Loki was, like, fitting that role as the prince that needed to be saved instead, kind of like how it was with Wano, but I guess Hiyori was still there too. But so yeah, since there is no Princess of Elbaf, I guess Gunkko's going to have to, you know, check that box for this arc for Oda. And she's the princess that needs to be saved here. And also, it deepens Brook's backstory. But this is as far as it's going for now. We don't know why Emu took her over or made her Gunkko or whatever. I mean, she does have blue hair. Emu's like also obsessed with Lily, like the Void Century equivalent of Vivi. And she killed her father, who I guess was the king of whatever kingdom they're coming from. I don't know if they were like celestial dragons originally, because we know that Gunkko is a part of the Man-Mayer family, or maybe she was like adopted into them or something. It still remains to be seen. I'm sure it'll be revealed sooner or later, I guess, since we're, you know, diving into that aspect of her in this arc. But as we also suspected, this is what Brook was trying to do. He's trying to break through to Gunkko. Jinbei made that comment in the previous chapter about how he just went off somewhere, because it seems like he had an idea despite not communicating with the Straw Hats for some reason, unless he did off panel, and we'll come back to that. But yeah, Brook can, I don't know, through the power of friendship or the power of love or whatever, break through Emu's control over them. And we have seen this happen before, I guess. I mean, in the flashback with Harold and Loki. Harold was taken over kind of the same way that Gunkko is, I guess. And Harold was able to like temporarily fend off that evil control or whatever and have Loki finish him off. But with Gunkko, it's, you know, going to the next level because Emu's directly taking her over. But I guess it still applies. And if you have strong feelings for someone or vice versa, then it can be broken. But we'll get more into this sequence in the full summary if we get it tomorrow. So subscribe for that if you haven't already. Gerd and Goldberg prepare to fire a combo attack at the Mother Sleep Tid, two generals. But Rhodes stops them. He wants to take part in the attack too. So all three of them aim their attacks. Three generals, Roaring Nation. The attack resembles Dorian Brongi's Warrior Nation attack. At the end of the chapter, the Mother Sleep Tid falls onto Summers, who strikes it back, but it lands on the transport ship waiting for the kid hostages and destroys it, leaving Summers shocked. All right, so that was a funny little coincidence. This usually doesn't happen with the villains in the One Piece arcs from what I remember, but hey, I'd welcome it because, man, I really hate Summers and the Holy Knights. So if he's just gonna crap the bed here by destroying the transport ship, then good. That's one less ticking clock that the rest of the characters have to worry about here, but there is going to be another ticking clock because it's too early in the arc for the ticking clock to go away. Ticking clock, I mean like the kids that are being guided to this ship here. That was mentioned in the previous chapter that once they get onto the ship, they're going to Mary Joie and then it's over. So now that the ship is destroyed, you know, there has to be some other ticking clock coming to the equation here other than just the kids being in danger. But maybe Emu like kills Summers because he did this. I don't think Emu will kill a Holy Knight. Even though they did kill Saturn. And I say that because they mentioned that like the covenants breaking with them or the contracts breaking with them have like a toll on them. So maybe they'll discipline Summers or something. Or maybe if Gunkko's control breaks free, then Emu would take over Summers instead. Not really sure, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about Gunkko being a princess. And if you liked it, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.